Hello there and welcome back. Today we talk about this tree pedal from Chase Bliss that are some of my favorite, let's turn off everything, some of my favorite tools to create ambient music. Okay, so what are those? The mood, the blooper and habit. This is the last one that came out. This I think was the first, and this is in the middle. Basically we have three sort of loopers, and each one I think has its own particular vibe and character. So before going on, as usual, some way you can support the page. You can subscribe, share this content, you can buy from the affiliate link down below, or you can become a Patreon, where I go sometime more in deep with demos and reviews, share ideas, and share exclusive content. Okay, that said, I'm using the most simple setup to just show what are my ideas on these three pedals. And so basically it's the OP1 that I really enjoy using with pedals. I know it's a stereo out, but I'm using a stereo to mono cable because these pedals are all mono. So a lot of people are a little confused about these effects, and like they might think that they can overlap, and while they are a sort of looper in different way, I think they have different aim and goals. So the mood has been one of my favorite since the beginning. I used it extensively because it's the, I feel, texture and granular and micro loops generator. So with this guy you record fragments of sound, and then you can create texture. So can be very lo-fi, can be also be very weird, and I feel that it's super simple to use, and it has a nice, it's divided in two channels. One is like the actual sampler looper, and the other one is the effect that can be delay, reverb, or a slip. That is a sort of, I think, delay that follow the envelope on envelope. So it offers, let's say, you can use those two separately. So you can use just the reverb, delay, or whatever you want, and the looper separately. The blooper, it's a looper. Any of these three pedals, it's the one that has more of a clear looper function. It can work as a simple, let's say nothing simple in the Chase Bliss word, but it can be a regular looper. What it add, it's like these two modifiers that add a lot of dough to the pizza. And then you have a stability. Stability is a sort of tape emulator where like the sound get crackly and get dirtier, and it's pretty lovely what it does. And then the habits, that is the newborn sorta. The habit is a delay, is a looper with two heads, but the fun part of it, I think, is like is keep recording no matter what you're doing. So after 3 minutes of recording, it starts looping back whatever you do. They decided 3 minutes because 3 minutes they think is the good chunk, good amount for composing a track, and I agree. And what you hear, like now, if I turn this on, this is several passages that I did playing the OP, adding the mood, adding the blooper, and of course, since I was playing that for more than probably 20 minutes because I was recording some soundscape, things got kinda mashed together, and what you get is this sort of lo-fi, beautiful, ambient thing. And of course I kept only one chord, so in my classic lazy style. So I feel that these are great material that then you can use in a sampler, you can use in your Octatrack, if you have an Octatrack, But as you can feel sometimes, there's part coming and going, and these are things that I was playing, or maybe I was tweaking with other pedals, and they're in the memory. Similar to the Blooper, it has a modifier. There can be different things. You have two banks, A and B. In this case, for example, is a pitcher. This is a filter, and this is the starter. And what you can do is actually now is in feed, so basically it's listening what I'm doing and recording to the memory. So on the next passage you will hear what I did, and it keep recording. So if I start adding other things, for example, now I have the OP1 going. Let's see if I can add more volume. All of this sound will be recorded here. And I can play with different instruments. And then I can add also these. And it's gonna create a sort of, I like it because it's a sort of composition that you layer and layer and layer, and it never stops. Of course you can do this with many other looper, and you can do it with the Blooper too. You can add one shot and keep adding stuff, but these do it in the background, so somehow you end up with things that are unexpected, and once you try the pedal you understand how interesting the idea is. So I want to just start creating something new, but before doing that, I want to give you what is my opinion and what you, if you want to buy one, what I would buy first. Or actually, it's hard to say first, it's like what fits your needs and your workflow. So I think of all the three, the Blooper is the looper that has more control, is more controllable. You can just record your loop, you can time it, and it can work as a regular looper. So if you want, and remember, this is all mono, so you need to be okay with that. If you're okay with that, with the Blooper you can use it simply as a looper and then add the modifier, and then it's when things get really weird if you want. But if you need a looper and something more classic, I'd go with the Blooper. If you need something that create ambiances, noises, texture, the Mood is what I would do. And of all of the three, I think the Mood is my dearest one. I had it since the beginning of my music journey on here, and I really, really, really like it. And whenever I use it, it's always offering something cool. The Habit, I feel of all, this one is, I'd consider it more as an instrument somehow, because these things can be playable, it can record, you can do tracks with it, and then you can export it because they're saved in the memory. So I feel that this is the one that ambient music makers, or that kind of production where it's a little more experimental and unexpected, when you like happy accidents, I would go with the Habit. That said, we can start playing around and see what happens. So these two as a buffer right now, so to just erase, you just press both buttons here, so now this is clean. And this one, as soon as I press both, it will clear up the buffer, but it will start recording this 3 minutes. So before doing that, we want to know what we are doing. And so I have here, I recorded these, but let's just record something new. Let's leave that bit. So we can pick any instrument. We can do something like that. First we can lay down I really like the dimension. Let's add this like a pad. So we go here. I already set up. Let's set up for loop, for bars. And let's just record something in the key of C, just to be fancy. So now this is being recorded. It's already recorded on the OP1. But I want to also record something in the mood. So I know that I can record this. For example, let's hear what it does. If I play this, and now I start recording, and now let's bring the mix in. This is what I've been recording. So as you can hear, I recorded a bit of the things. And I can decide to use the clock to pitch it in different way. Maybe it could be nice to have a lower part like this, or you can want to have something like this. Now the reverb, it's processing the things that I recorded, but also what the OP is doing. So if I want to mute the OP, I can do like this. And now you hear only the recording of the sampler. Let's keep in mind that this guy is still recording. So whatever I'm doing, let's reset now. So he will listen to these things, and then we will have it back. We can record some piano notes, maybe. Let's record again. So let's say now I want to keep this like this. Now we can decide to record something in the blooper. So let's tune down this. And let's maybe stop the playback here. Let's choose another instrument. And then we can record. So as soon as I press this, the blooper will start recording. And now it should be there. So as you can hear, we have a loop. Now, no modifier working. The stability, as you can hear, it adds these crackly tones. I can decide to use it as normal, add, or that's another things. But if I put add in this switch here and I start recording, all the modification that I do will be recorded in the buffer. Let's not do that for now. So it has the two modifiers. Let's add this. Now it's like a pitch. That was a stepped pitch. There's a fluid. Let's use this one, and let's hear. This is a tremolo. Let's bring back. This is still recording. So I don't know what's gonna happen because now it's mixed. It's completely dry. So now we can. Let's have back the part recorded in an OP1, and it was we just recorded a few bits just to show the process, you know. Now let's see. It has been more than 3 minutes, I guess. So let's stop everything. Let's stop this. Let's mute, not mute, but only listen the dry. So there's nothing going on. And now let's bring the recording buffer of the habit. You can play now with the scan and spread. Spread is how the two tape head move in the 3-minute span, and scan in the the buffer. Now what you have to think is like this is set on feed, so this is keep recording what happened plus the movement that I'm doing. So let's now bring everything together. And let's use these to filter off some of the high end. Add something here to the blooper. And then you end up with like these. Yeah, I call it soundscape because that's what they are. Now, as usual, we did that on real time, so I didn't really have any plan on what I was doing. But the concept here was like starting create texture in the mood in the blooper and let the habit record everything. And then find out what it came out with. Now, if you add different instruments, you can add voice, you can add some rhythmical stuff. What will happen in the habit will be probably way more interesting and more unexpected. And then we still have all these other things that can work out. For example, now there's this thing kind of cool. Seems like there's some string going on. Now I tune down of 2 octaves the OP1. So through trial and error and complete random recording, now we have something that it's kind of nice. There's nothing, you can add actually a reverb on the end of the chain to mash things more together, but I think it's pretty cool as is. And this guy is still recording, yeah, so this will get interesting and interesting. You can let it go, especially if you put feed. And what I'm always interested with this pedal is like I didn't have any plan, I didn't have any chord, but right now there's these two chords going on, and I really like what I'm hearing. And so again, in all this process, my music creation was simply a dialogue with the machine. So I input something, the machine send an output, and I react to that. And this is the way I like to do music, because maybe I'm not a musician in the classic sense that I can take an instrument and play and create something out of thin air. I don't know. My enjoyment of creating music is this one. So like putting something in it and mangle with the machine and see what came out. So I'm all in for happy accident. So if you bear with me until now, or maybe this final piece kind of makes sense. And now you have a setup that you can play with. I like to play with the clock. And then when you're ready, you can just, I don't know, you have this mess, massive mess. That you can play with, and now you are just only hearing the habit. Okay, I don't wanna go further because this is something you can play for hours and end up with who knows what. I hope it gives you an idea on how this beautiful pedal works. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.